It's live. Every time I do that,
Oh,
I'm like, shit, I got to get a video, and then I forget till the next one. But I think I've said that like literally at least 10 times now. But I got some footage. I can put something together. Sometimes you want to get like clips, so you can like screen capture some YouTubes. That's what a lot of people do, like some American Psycho shit or whatever, and just
this is
whatever
awesome.
fits the channel. So I'm here with Zachary. How's it going, Zachary?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see you. You're kind of a fresh face for me. Great to meet new people. You got a cool looking project. You're friends with Vaughn, who's also a young gun. So it's nice to meet you guys and see the new faces and the fresh blood coming into the scene. Um, but yeah, so the first thing I want to do as people kind of filter in here, we got 4 people watching right now. Everyone say hi if you're in the chat. Let us know
What's
if you're
up,
not a
guys?
bot. Praetor7, what's up? And I'm gonna screen share too. So I have an idea for what we're gonna do tonight. Is we're gonna go over Zachary's book and kind of pitch it and everything. But I also have tabs open for Kickstarter, Fund My Comic, Indiegogo, and Zoop, and we'll just kind of look at some random indie comic stuff to see what's out there.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah. I might even back or save some tabs for like to back it later.
yeah, it is kind of fun to do a little bit of that shopping once in a while. Yeah. You know what I was thinking too? This is a little bit random, but I've done some streams and I was been saying comics got to get cool again, and that's how like we'll all become billionaires if comics get cool again, like they were in the '90s. Like people became millionaires that way or whatever. But and you get more readers. It's like the difference between 1,000 readers being amazing, which it is, or like 100. We're grateful for all the readers, but imagine the difference between 1,000 readers or like 1,000,000 readers. Like it's crazy the numbers like manga. It's so crazy because it is cool. Manga is cool, but manga like what's the One Piece? I think the sales for it was literally 500 million was the sales. I'm
Oh
pretty
my
sure.
god, dude.
Yeah, it was like absolutely insane. It was something like swear it was something like that. That sounds so high when I say that, but I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, it's like super crazy. But I was thinking for a long. I was like, there's you make something cool. How do you even do that? Like that, like oh, you can make good comics. You can think of in the past like what was cool. Like, and even like when I do that, I'm like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Sin City. Those when it gets like a step beyond comics and starts hitting the culture a little bit, kind of like people passing it in back alleys, passing books to each other. Like you got to read this, like that kind of stuff. That's like that needs to happen again. And how we get there, I don't know. But I did think of a way, and but it's cheesy, but it's like this is how you do it: is you would need someone who's kind of a what like a trendsetter in this almost plugged into this satanic system like Taylor Swift, but not her. But someone like her would have to be like, I love comics. I read comics every day. These are some comics you should read. So that would actually do it. But to do that, that's not going to happen anytime soon. It just won't. But so I don't know, like, and how you even if you say you found out someone, say we found out like Taylor Swift, she actually does like comics. We're like, Taylor, you got to do us a solid. You got to like tell everyone about Comicsgate, and she'd be like, you guys are annoying me. What are you talking about? Or like, oh, god damn it. So there's like no way to do it. So we're screwed basically. It's never going to be cool again, except maybe it will be somehow.
I'm about to ask a dumb question, but has there ever been a celebrity of recent to shout out comic books? Like in a way like like fame like you said, Taylor Swift or like Kanye or something like that, be like, yeah, dude, I read comics, and I'm like, what of it?
Yeah. Part of the problem I think is a lot of the celebrities don't because they think it's not cool. So they always say, "I read comics when I was a kid." We're like, "Shut up, dude." Okay, maybe that's true, but just say you love comics. Don't say I read comics when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
whatever. You
I
could
remember
say,
serving Saturday suspensions, and like I'd be the only kid reading comics and whatnot. And I remember one Saturday evening, I was like looking over at a couple tables, and this guy was reading Fear Itself, which was the recent Marvel comic of that time. And I was like, oh shit, like it was just so unheard of in school for people just to like read comics out in the open. They would do that very privately.
yeah. At my school, there was a kid who started a comic book club, and it was like 10 people maybe joined out of the whole school, so not that big numbers. And
That's a
then
big
even that
success.
Yeah, that club was like kind of had to be a little bit under the radar even. But yeah, it's unfortunate. So I don't know. But someone in the chat, what were they saying? They're saying Keanu. Keanu maybe said he reads comics. I don't know. Um,
It's either that. Oh, actually, Wesley Snipes, I think, even made a comic book recently.
yeah, that's one of the kind of a friend of the channel, friend of CG. Those guys. It's Massive Publishing, and then Adam Lawson is the guy who like threw that all together. He's like a Hollywood guy kind of, and he's dabbling in indie comics. He's done a lot of cool books. Um, your boy
Even
Zach lost his hair. They're guessing if you're your boy Zach. That's funny.
oh no, I don't like hair. Get rid. I go bald.
Yeah.
Actually,
Uh,
funny story. It's a little bit stupidity on my part, but second year at the Akiba school, I was trying to impersonate one of my instructors, and for like the Halloween contest, and I didn't have any paints except the acrylics and the oils that I had, which was part of like the art kit and whatnot. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just throw a little acrylic in my hair, whatever, just to work it. And the guys they come after me like after I did that, he's like, "What kind of paint you use?" I was like, acrylic. He's like, that stuff is like really bad for your hair. Like, and I was like, it's whatever. Like, I don't care. And then when I saw it started like thinning at the top, I mean, stress is definitely a mix in that. But like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I think it's just time for it to go. What?
yeah, everyone has to come to terms with that on some level. I know I jinxed myself because it was the dumbest thing I've ever said. I haven't lost all my hair yet, but I have a slightly receding widow's peak kind of thing. And I was on a hike with one of my older buddies. He was a soccer coach, and I was like, if I ever start to go bald, I'm gonna kill myself. And he's like, don't say that because you will go bald now. And I was like, oh damn. But yeah, just young gun, dumb stuff. Can't be jinxing yourself. Um, and whatever, it's like a little bit of enlightenment. Like losing hair looks cool. I think it makes people look older and more higher T kind of.
Isn't there like a study or something like that where it says that bald men get more chicks or something like that?
I totally,
I
I
believe
bet
it.
you it's true because there's definitely association between higher testosterone, which women love, and losing hair. Um,
Yo.
Yeah, Michael Dice says that's it. Narwhal has to date Taylor Swift, then manipulate the Swifties into buying comics. See, I'm telling you what. Anyone where their fans have a nickname, like if it's the
Ew.
Swifties, or
That's
like
just
what isn't there
ew.
some fan base where they're like called like the Little Devils or something? We got to get all those fan bases like going, and we'll do it through manipulative seduction somehow. We'll
I'm
figure it
a,
out.
I'm a technician and a juggalo, like through and through. That's what I am in the music industry fan base.
Yeah, like Kid of the Juggalos. I know we have ran up against this a little bit where it's like the you might have sort of like a shout out. I'm trying to think what example could be like say Dean Cain or something. Like he's doing a comic with Miller, and so I think he's probably shouted out even CG a little bit or something, but the people who are fans of Dean Cain, they don't buy comics. They might buy his comic because he did one comic, but so it ends up kind of not really working. Like if the Juggalos were like, "Hey, you guys should back my friend's new comic. It's called Voyage. It's pretty cool. He's a big fan." Like you might get like 10 sales out of, and
Yeah,
the eyes you would get on
yeah.
it are like you get 100,000 eyes on it. Maybe if it's 100,000, maybe you get like 100 sales, which is actually kind of nice. But but yeah, how do you get that to a little bit more where people are like, no, this is the shit. Like this, it'd have to be like literally Taylor Swift and almost not being like, hey, read my friend's new comic. She'd have to be like, I love comics. They're the best art form. You guys need to start reading them.
Yep.
And then it would like then it would be on like Donkey Kong, as they say, or whatever.
Dude, I sent a message to Shags Too Dope, Violent J, Tech Nine. I was like, hey guys, I got a comic book, man. Like you guys are like some inspirations and stuff like that when I was making this stuff. And it would be like really cool if you guys checked it out. I mean, if you like it, then that means a lot. Like it'd be kudo points for me, but this is just for me to just throw it your way. And Tech Nine got back to me on that. and, which was like really really sick. I was like nerding out because I like he's one of my favorite musicians in the industry, and for him to see that and like it, I was like, oh man, I gotta tell somebody.
Nice. What did he say? Did he say like, "Nice job, kid. Keep going"? That's what
the
Mark Miller said
standard
to me.
the
Yeah.
standard like celebrity shit when they like kind of like, all right, it's there. If they saw it, they're like, hey, good job, and then they have to like probably go to 20 interviews and do like 2 shows that same day.
Yeah, it is a little different when even like Ethan and your boy Zach, I think they get like over 100 emails a day, so they just can't like respond to all of them.
Yeah.
That happens to me random, like little. There'll be points where it gets so busy that I accidentally, then I'm like, oh shit, I've become what I hate because I don't. I've always you kind of you feel like you want to make a promise to yourself, like you're like, if I ever get to the point where I'm getting 100 emails a day, I will not. I will still respond to everyone, and I will still blah blah
Oh
blah.
yeah.
But then when you actually get there, sometimes it's like you can't even do it if you try because you just the emails move fast and you're kind of clicking and missing and you're just like something else happens and you forget and all that kind of stuff.
Even Caleb's here as a Tech Nine fan. Like, I didn't know that. Let's go. But
Nice.
yeah, his Bliss album was pretty. It was pretty good. He just released that like in June or July, and I was like, all right, bet. I was listening to his Planet album during the end of my first year at the Cuber School. That album actually helped push out some of my coolest work that I like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's cool to have music as inspiration. We can possibly talk a little bit more about that. I like that a lot. Caleb says, start writing breakup comics to get Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Dude, honestly, like slice of life comics. Actually, I'm even surprised that it has a big audience. Like people like that slice of life shit.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, so that's the scheme, but I don't even know what the step is there. But it is like you would need a cultural thing. Like it's like if Quentin Tarantino was like, "I love comics. You guys need to read comics," and that was actually happening. Speaking of Sin City, it wasn't Tarantino, but it was his buddy Robert Rodriguez. He was
Oh
the one kind
wow.
of doing that about Sin City, and that was one of the part like where it was like so cool that it's really seeping into the culture in like kind of unforeseen ways. Comic Ken,
Even
what's up, man?
oh, what's up, Ken? He's one of my closest friends from the school. We still keep in chat to this day.
Oh, cool. You guys are both like alum buddies. Nice. He's been around.
Yeah,
I've seen him like in the chats and on Twitter and stuff. He's a great guy. So, Ken,
he's
if you
super.
ever want to come on too, you can just DM me or whatever.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So, do you want to let's we got 10 people watching. Thanks everyone for being here. A few more people will filter in as we're talking, I'm sure. And then we will pitch this again at the end also, but why don't you give us the down low? I guess first I want to know two things: is kind of the comic itself, and then also the kind of more autobiographical angle. So how whichever one you want to start with first, but
Uh, So the comic focuses on Sonderon, who is the first of his species to be exiled and leaving. He left his star system. He's on a hero's journey to find this mystical spear called the Spear of Nod that is shattered into tiny pieces and is across the whole universe. And he is forced upon this responsibility to go after it. And he doesn't want to. He's kind of like, no, I just want to do me. And he has no idea what the lore is behind the Spirit Nod or why it's as important as it is. And so the first issue focuses on that moment where he arrives to the first planet outside of his exile. And in that first issue, which is like 48 pages, I give the reader a sense of loneliness. There's going to be a lot of some xenophobia because of of who he is and what his species has done. And it's kind of like when you get kicked out of the house and you don't know what to do. Everything you thought you knew about the real world is nothing until you're finally living in it. This is that mindset that he's in. He's like tunnel vision into doing what he wants and thinking that he knows, and you know it just doesn't work out for him. So that the first comic really starts off that adventure. It's an ongoing series. So the first story is 32 pages, the backup story is a 9 pager.
cool. Yeah, it sounds great. It looks great. It looks pretty sweet. And so you mentioned influences. There was some heavy or some like what even is Tech Nine? What is that genre? But it's like machine gun rap or whatever.
It's like it's horrorcore rap mix. Like Tech Nine, when he started back in the day, he was part of that horrorcore rap genre, because when ICP, when everybody was hating on him and whatnot at the time, when they were rapping, all the other rappers were like, "Nah, that's their own thing. That's not even classified as rap." And Tech Nine, when he came into the scene, he was chilling with them for a little while, touring with ICP and stuff like that in the beginning. His rap really just kind of evolved through the 2000s and whatnot. He really plays it. I mean, one of his songs got featured in that really shitty Suicide Squad movie. The first one where like Killer Croc's chilling in the sewer and you see Tech Nine with the Dwam video
Yeah.
playing on the screen. I thought that was like, all right, this movie sucks, but I see what they did there. That's some pretty sick shit. And but my inspirations for comics, because I listened to ICP and Tech Nine when I was creating, but for artwork inspiration, characters like Zen Intergalactic Ninja was inspiration, because of Zen was the first alien in comic books to be the main character in a series and be successful. Like they broke the barrier through that. Everyone talks about TMNT in the 80s, but those are anthropomorphic characters. That's
Mhm.
a different section. So Zen was one of them. Cyberfrog was another one. I remember seeing some single issues from the 90s that was like really cool. I read those, was crazy about it. And then recent character Sen from this book called VOYAGE. And that book is an Image. It was a 5-issue miniseries, I think this year or last year. Super sick, dude. And that, like, I got some, writers' inspiration from that. So it's a mix.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. It's looking sweet. So, what about the autobiographical angle? Like,
Oh,
what's
man.
some Kubert school, and even if before that, possibly, and then Comic Skate, like getting in and meeting Vaughn and those guys. Tell me a little bit about that.
To rough it, like, okay, I had to figure out a like a point where I started. When a year at like I just graduated from, or whatever you want to call it, from Job Corps at the time. And that's when I was like, I got out of Job Corps, got my job, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, man. Me and my older brother used had a start in the beginning, but that fell through. You get older, differences happen, whatever. But I went to him and I was like, hey, let's do this comic thing. And I started, drawing like at the table, like all the time, just like creating these really bad books, like because my art was ass then. And I was like, there was a point where I went to Boston Comic Con, I think 2016. Then somebody there told me about the Cuban School. I wanted to go for a summer program, because it's all I could afford it. And then it just turned into a 3-year thing. So I was there. And then when I got into the school for the 3 years, I self-published my first graphic novel, A Voyage, which is an 88-page anthology book. I was the first student to really set that record, or set the tone for to make a comic that big while being a current student of that year, or of the school in general. And when I got out of the school, I crowdfunded successfully this book called Voyage to the Call. What's up, Phil? Um,
Yo.
Voyage to the Call was the single issue from that Kickstarter campaign, and people loved it. They wanted it to come back, so I was working on a sequel for the first anthology comic. That one fell through because it was a $24,000 goal, but I thought I could hit it, and I didn't know that many people then. I mean, I was hauling ass, and all the people that I was working with on that second anthology book, it was like 95% done. This thing was close,
Hmm.
and it just couldn't get to print because we were all alumni from the Cuban School. So we had no traction or at all on social media platforms. We were also getting new to that too, for the ones that had the patience to deal with it. And then after that failed, I was like, oh fuck it, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on the first issue and make that a thing. So this campaign right here is that first issue. I've been adding more and more into it, but this thing is a big one, bro. It's oh man. I got some like cool people. I got Bob Harden. He just recently did an album cover for the Meatloaf band, and I had him do a double page, spread for the cover for a variant. Jan Dursema, the queen of sci-fi comics herself, you know, did a variant. Uh, I mean, like Chris Campagna, who just got signed on to Marvel Comics, doing Ghost Rider, also did a variant for this book. So I tried so hard to like really compile this with the best quality that I can provide.
Cool. Yeah, it's looking sweet. So then, when did you graduate from the Kubert school? Like kind of recently, like a year ago or 2 years ago?
Fuck, sorry. I think no, it was when COVID hit. That year when COVID hit for the first time, people were scrambling around. That year, we got screwed. Like I remember me and my old class was like, we had like interviews lined up for editors and whatnot, and half of them they had to cancel, and then the other half that did interview us were later let go from those companies because of comic books. What, DC fired how many employees? I mean, Marvel did the same thing. Like it was
Yeah.
just everybody was feeling it from both sides, and so anyone that was from that year, just our hopes of getting some kind of gig in the industry was just blown to pieces. So I was like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna make my comic. I'm just gonna public, what do you call it? Crowdfund it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So then when did you start getting into the YouTube scene and Twitter and stuff?
So honestly, with Von Coleman, last year actually, I went to Garden State Comic Con or Comic Fest, and me and Bobby Crucifix, we were tabling there in this fucking cold ass ice rink area where like we were freezing, dude. And Vaughn dressing up in this goofy ass X-Men character. It's just him, like I think it was like Data or some like goofy kid that can like speak every language.
Okay.
Yeah, Cypher, that's his name. He dresses as Cypher, and he like comes around the corner. I didn't even know who the fuck this character was until he said it. But he introduced himself to us, and he bought like some of the books from the table. But Vaughn, he was like hooking up with him at that time. His first impression with us was like, hey, do you want to come to this gathering party that year? And I was like, well, shit, Billy Tucci's gonna be there, Kevin Altaneri, and a bunch of other people. I got invited, so I was like, oh damn, I'm just a fucking nobody, like, and I'm in this room with all these like professionals, and they're just treating me like I'm an equal, like I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like them.
Tucci's so good at that. He's such a great guy. Was
Yeah,
Rainey there too at Garden State that year?
no,
Okay.
not that year.
Yeah.
But that was my first impression with everybody, and Vaughn started getting me on his shows. So when I kickstarted this a few months ago, and Vaughn, talking to him, he really helped me hook up with everybody else, like Bancroft, Rainey. Honestly, I even like streaming. I can't do it as like a host. I'm too like crazy for that, unfiltered. Dude, sorry, that blunt got me good.
Nice.
But no, like Vaughn like really helped push me out there. I mean, I even like going on shows. I didn't realize how much I was gonna love it. So Vaughn was like the gate, to introduce me to everybody and bump on everyone else's show.
Yeah. Check this out. I just saw this, everyone. There's a art contest. Aliens only. Submit art to Zackary on Twitter. File size. No hyper violence, no nudity. 11 by 17, like a regular comic page. October 31st. So still like a couple weeks. So if anyone's thinking, I might try and whip a little something up for that. Because I do notice it's cool. You got this main guy who's like, he's like you say, he is an alien. He's not even like human, It's
Oh
about
yeah,
an alien.
it's like when you read dude, Martian Manhunter comics were like amazing. But the thing with the superheroes and Martian Manhunter honestly gets shafted in the comic book industry, like he really does. So I wanted an alien character that people are gonna really hook into. Because when I read sci-fi comics, it's always a human. Every fucking story I read, always human astronauts exploring the universe. I'm like, nah, like get rid of that. If I'm gonna watch a Predator movie, I'd rather watch the Predator, hunt on like other different planets in different species. Like, why is it always on Earth? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Here's the team too. This is cool. The full badass team putting it together. The
That's actually
colors are
Comic
great.
Ken right there.
Oh, okay, that is Ken. Nice, sweet. He's your letterer.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, and Vaughn's your editor. Nice. And so you're not the writer. That's good to note too. I sort of assumed you were, but so you're the artist and Brett
Mhm.
is the writer. Did
I mean,
you pitch him this idea and he kind of threw the script together, kind of, or?
so I'm not like you said it. Like I'm not a writer, but I can't. Like I'll write, but I can't formulate it into a fluid story where, especially in script format. So I was always having a difficulty. I had like packets of stuff that I was writing from like middle school, right? This whole thing, and it wasn't until I got into the Cooper school I was really just like honing in on that, trying to figure out that story because nobody was doing it at the school. I remember being the only, like, one of the very few people, besides Ken, was just like, no, I got to write this out. I got to figure this out now in school because I know when I get out, I'm going to, like, it's going to kick me in the ass. And no one was doing it. So, like, now we're out of the school and everyone's, like, just starting their own OCs while I'm pretty much, like, getting it done, per
Yeah.
se. So, but Brett was my classmate, and this man has a gift. Like God has granted him the gift to just conjure up stories in his mind that takes him like 30 minutes. And I'm not even exaggerating. He can
Yeah.
come up with like movie quality type stories. And I was like, Brett, you gotta be writing this for me. You gotta help me figure this shit out. So he, again, took him like 30 minutes to an hour, comes out of his room, and he gives me this fucking magnum opus with stuff that I had like for years. And I was like, Brett, I love you. Would you like to write this run with me?
Cool. Yeah, that's fun. It's fun to build the team, throw it all together, get some good shit going, the camaraderie and stuff. And yeah, Kubert School sounds kind of cool. Like, sounds kind of fun going through that. There's a few people that are alum from there. I think PTP is a Kubrick School alum, I think.
Oh, that's I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, we can double check.
I know I know Ed Pisker hates hates that place, bro. There's like an article where he wrote where he was just like basically saying that the Cooper School mansion is just a bunch of jock you know dumb jocks, partying and getting high. Which I'm like, well, you're not wrong on that, but I was one of the very few of that group that was taking it seriously. Like when I partied hard, but I also got my shit done.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Did he? Is the school takes place in a mansion? Is like the
Yeah,
Xavier School for the Gifted or whatever?
yeah, or the Xavier's gift for the dysfunctional. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
um, I mean, the Cuba. I think the place was founded in 76, 77, I believe. That's like that's where it started. Was in this old mansion building, but then he got a old elementary or middle school, high school type building in downtown Dover, New Jersey. So that's what that school's been for a long time. And yeah, like I mean, I was there from like 2016 to 20 when COVID started. So could have been 2019, 2020, and yeah, like it's changed a lot. I got into it at the time where it was under new management, basically, and it was a shit show.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Was it overall your experience was positive or middle
It's
of the road or?
50-50. It's
Okay.
50-50. I know no play like no the expression's like no place is perfect, and I totally get that. It's just hooking up with like connections and people that I'm still friends with to this day. They work with me on stuff, and we try to help each other. Try to get individual work and whatnot. But being there, I felt there was definitely some aspects of it lacking. Like I was supposed to get Andy Cupert to teach me second year. He went over to California and got signed on to be like the head of DC or something like that. So, I lost him. Then third year, the Cooper school got switched over to under the management. So Adam Cooper checked out. So I didn't get the opportunity to get taught by him. Um, so it was all my year, especially, was getting screwed with some BS every single year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Kubert did this sketch for you. Is that true? This looks amazing.
Oh yeah, apparently I'm the only student outside of like the last time he did a drawing for a student since 95, 96. Um and he did that, and that kind of motivated everybody to get this stuff done for the book. And that was just that I can best describe as being at the right time at the right moment.
Was it in like a convention you saw him or something, or how'd you?
No, I was doing janitor work for the school during the summer between my second year to third year, and he just caught me in the hallway when I was like, with a fucking mop and a bucket, basically, walking down the hallway, and he was like, "Oh, hey," like, we get to chat. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I heard you're making a comic with like 23 other students. Like, how's that going?" I'm like, "It's very stressful, like these guys are like a family to me, so I'm trying to make it the best I can be." And I guess what I was saying, caught him, like he maybe had the feels or something, but like he was like, "Is there anything I can do for that?" And I'm like,
No
"What?"
way.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
else it is? It's the fact that you're like mopping the floors because that's like that there's some like romance to that or whatever. What's the movie? Shoot, it's like the Matt Damon movie where he's like a genius but he starts as a janitor. It's like that.
Yeah.
So that was going through his head. He's like, "You are the new Matt Damon. I must do a drawing for you."
Oh, dude, it took him about a month when I got the drawing. He was like, "Hey, come here. I got something for you." Fucking brings me to the office, and his office, it's standard. You didn't think it was gonna look like that. It was just kind of a standard office with a fucking drafting table, right? And he's like, he basically does this. He's like, "What do you think?"
Oh, sweet. And yeah, you got it there.
Yeah,
Let me make it big. That's cool. Um, yeah, yeah, that's pretty amazing.
yeah. And he was like, he gave it to me. I was like, I looked at him. I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's yours. It's yours. Keep it, whatever." And dude, I was tearing up a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, dude, this speaks volumes. I'm in a good direction where I want, what I'm doing with the
Yeah.
book."
And
And
was
I,
that because you wait? Sorry, did you say he was leaving? He went to the West Coast that summer, so that was like kind of his goodbye to you a little bit, even or what?
Adam moved like somewhere in New York City, like up,
Oh,
up in,
okay.
yeah, it's like somewhere there. And but Andy went to California the second year. But I got lucky. I mean, I'm like the only student that has a drawing from the Adam Cuber. Like anybody from like the '90s can probably say that they do when they got it there as a classroom, but it takes one person to fuck it up. Apparently, the story is some student asked for a drawing from Adam Cuber, and the fucking prick sold it on eBay. Adam found out, and he's like, "I'm not doing any drawings for any students anymore." And how many years since 95, 96 or whatever to like 3 years ago is that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be a little bit of a spurning or whatever. It'd be annoying if a kid did that.
Yeah.
Um, Cool. Let's go over the tiers and then we'll peruse some of these other sites is what we'll do. So 26 people watching. Thanks everyone. If you're here with Zachary, he's got Voyage issue 1, 33 pages. And I think we were scrolling and there's an 8-page backup story too, right? It's
Yes.
a lot to the campaign. There's that Adam Kubert sketch too, which is awesome. That you can't buy that obviously, but you can get the what is it, the postcard prints or whatever.
There'll be a full colored print to give to every single backer for the third stretch goal unlock, which
Okay.
I'm really trying to get this funded because that's sick. Like who the hell would not want an Adam Cuber, fully colored print of this character? I don't see any campaign that's got that. So come on, like come fund me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we can see where it's at. It's 1,530 backers, 29 days left. So it tends to go do pretty good as it gets closer to the end too. And then it has to reach the goal to go in demand. That's always nice to be able to go in demand. I don't know if that's your plan or not, but
I
so
would love
definitely
to.
everyone
Yes.
keep in mind, yeah, we want to get to hit that goal. If you don't hit that goal, then it just ends no matter what. So definitely want to hit it. So everyone consider backing. This is another one of those books that you can get in on the ground level, get the first issue. There are some affordable tiers, it looks like, too, even if you're just
Oh
getting
yeah.
the little stuff. But yeah, it
Even
does look amazing. Very fun.
Down Go Solo, same artist for both stories. Yeah, you damn fucking right, man. I had to draw the whole thing because I need everybody to see this. Like,
Yeah, nice. Cool. Yeah. So what's first is holographic PDF. Is this digital release of the
it's a
issue?
digital tier. Yep.
Okay.
And then I think it's like $15. You get the physical copy of the comic. And if the once the campaign gets funded, some lucky backer will get this at random. This is a fully inked drawing, 11 by 17,
Nice.
which is a prototype drawing for the statue.
Cool. I like that. I like the random giveaways. That's cool too. And then virtual stimulation. What's the? It looks like more. The images are cool. More stuff. What is
You
this
get
one?
the 3 books that I've made in digital PDF format.
Oh, nice, nice. So that's the first one is the anthology, and then where's the you're is it even the anthology that didn't that was almost completely done but it wasn't successfully funded when you're at the comic
Uh,
school?
Not
Okay,
the second anthology, the first anthology. The first
okay,
anthology, the single issue comic, and then this one. Trust me, man. If I got that finished, dude, I would launch that again in the future. But
yeah,
everybody pulled their stories down. They're like, I can use this for my own comic that I'm making. I was like, yeah, do it. As long as it's getting printed.
yeah, cool. Um, is is Stravko? Thanks for backing, man. Um, I wonder he might mean he backed back in the day at
Yeah.
launch day or whatever. So I don't know. I'm always scared to update it to see if it goes up because if it doesn't go up, then like it's that's an
Oh
angel dies
man.
somewhere in the universe. So we have to be careful. Voyage issue one, $15. So that's cool. That and that's physical. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's not digital. So yeah, $15 for a physical comic. These are good rates. And that's what this book is. And the bonus story is that included in the book, the 8 pager, or is that
Oh yeah.
okay?
That's an automatic.
Cool. Yeah, so it's like a 33-page first issue and 8-page bonus story. What is the bonus story? A little extra lore or same universe or what is that?
It's all the same. So 9 page story is a smash and grab story. It's kind of like Sondron's at after is after this weird artifact. These 3 bounty hunters are after that same artifact. What's the motive, behind the whole thing? Who's controlling the situation? And this is a build up story that will be a crossover comic that I'm making with Nick Capone next year, which is going to be my character and his character with the villain that's in the backup story.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds sweet. Chris Campana variant 25. Here's the variants. Bob Hardskins. That one's a full spread, like open front and back. We can see. We'll scroll down and double check them in a second. The Dan Derisma variant. Yeah, that's sweet. Will be colored. Nice. Ethan Farina, not safe for work variant. That's sweet too.
Because you got to have them titties.
Yeah, there we are. Get one of those too, chat. 9 by 12 Sonderon print included. Oh, that looks pretty sweet too. Did you draw that one? It looks
Oh
kind
yeah,
of like your style.
that's
Yeah.
actually that's actually my tattoo that I got on my forearm. I got
Oh,
it.
sick.
Yeah. So
Nice. Two 11 by 17 prints and the desktop screensaver. 40 bones. Voyager Isser 1 remarquee. What's remarquee mean? I forget that word.
apparently it's like I could be getting the definition wrong, but it's like a thing that I started seeing a while ago. where like the artist will draw a character's head on the physical copy of the comic. It's like it's like sketch covering on a small section.
Okay. Cool.
You know,
Cool. So that makes it, yeah, super obviously original. Only 50 available. Yeah, because you don't want to get stuck doing too many of those. Even you could bite off more
Yup.
than you can chew. Inked bust sketches. Nice. Yeah, there's Rambo
Hell yeah.
and the chick from Berserk. I recognize that shit.
Hey, you're the first person to call that shit out on a stream.
Nice.
Nobody knew. I was like, all right,
I wish I could know her actual name. I forgot it though. But
Slan.
yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah, and then there's the 3D statue. So we can take a look at that too. There's some images down below. 11 by 17 commission for 300 bones. Yeah, it's pretty money. Dan's original or Jan's original art cover, 300. Oh, that's kind of a steal. Force Play 9 original pages. Ooh, sweet. What's
What's up,
Force
Chris?
Play 9? Is that a different comic or is
That's
that
no, that's the story title for the backup story that I have in the first issue.
okay? Cool, cool. Oh, and is this now when you say 9 original pages, you can buy the whole thing for 2,000 bucks.
Yeah, my 9 original pages that were fully inked by me, they're gonna
Yeah,
get that and everything with this campaign complete. Wow, I can't
cool,
even
cool.
speak right now. I
Yeah,
can't.
no, that's a good deal. That's interesting. Yeah, because you could almost sell, like, I don't know if it would sell right away, but a fair rate almost is like 2,000 bucks for an original page of 11 by 17 inked art. That's like fair. But yeah, 9 for that price is like,
It's
ooh,
the whole
nice.
story. They
Yeah,
get that
you
whole
just get the
story.
whole story. That would be a pretty good collector's item. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and then we'll scroll down. We'll take a look at these covers real fast. So here's the first variant. And is this your buddy drew this one, or what's his name?
That's Chris Campagna, yeah.
Cool,
It's so
nice.
beautiful.
11 by 17 print. This print looks really nice. Did you draw this one? That kind of looks like
Yep.
your style. Cool.
I did the pencils and inks. I actually did the pencils and inks for the left one and the pencils for the right one.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Yeah, I like your perspective and your inking style. It's cool too.
Thank you.
And you
I
do it
don't
all.
think I'm that good. I don't. And so I appreciate it when people do find that.
Yeah.
Like
Here's the 3D. It's looking pretty sweet. Look at this.
oh yeah. They get the prototype statue printed out.
Yeah, and this is the random winner will get this, which is the art of the prototype. Looks like almost. Cool. Cool. So that looks great. Dude, that's cool. We've actually been chatting 43 minutes, so we'll check in with this again before we end, but let's move on and just look at some what's up, Crystal? Crystal, I got distracted right when I was saying something. Oh, Kickstarter. Yeah, so
Oh
I
no. Kickstarter.
yeah. I just want to see what's on some of these. Fund My Comic. So let's check Fund My Comic first. I don't know if we'll click into them. We're kind of just looking at the and I might try and do this more for like because this is kind of fun. It's like perusing shelf shopping and stuff. But yeah, the featured picks. Perfect 10 issue 4. Um got it. Go away. Um it's doing good. I think this might also be dual launched. Might be on Indiegogo too, so we can double check that. But that has been getting really good reviews. Everyone says they love Perfect 10. I've been kind of meaning to catch up on it. It looks great. Superhero story. Fiendish 2 from Irene 2.5 doing great. I think this is close to, if not um, setting the record for the most made on Fun My Comic. Which the Private American it's at 81,000, but some of that is counted over
Oh.
from Indiegogo before it got kicked off or Kickstarter maybe because they got kicked off. It was bullshit.
Are
I
you
don't know if you
kidding
remember what.
me?
Yeah, because they say it's racist or whatever, but it's not. I don't know. That's the situation. It's like very
So they just say they listen, they kick it off, and they're like, without doing research, so it hurts the creatives.
Yeah, yeah, and that's happened like a handful of times with Kickstarter. With Indiegogo, it's annoying what they'll do too. This is like I kind of like Fund My Comic the most almost, but I'm doing Hotel Stories Indiegogo, but I've been doing Grand Prix with exclusive Fund My Comic launches. Those are my two books going on right now. But yes, this one Scribbles, we got Scribbles from Kelsey Shannon, 20,000. Has everyone in the chat, anyone got picked up Scribbles? I got that one.
I
Uh,
saw a couple podcast streams where the guy was like talking about it. I thought that was like really lit.
yeah, yeah, it looks sweet. Yeah, and I backed Private American and got it and read it, and it's great too. Mike Barrett, he's partially famous for writing Punisher in the '80s, and Private American is kind of Punisher esque, but he's kind of like he's a I don't know, I forget if he's is a border agent or not, if he's just like a more of a vigilante, but he's kind of a badass Mexican dude on the border, like dealing with fighting drug traffickers and stuff.
Oh,
And
I
it's like
see.
it's kind of Punisher esque, but it's pretty sweet. Mythicals 2 by Hojo. This one launched pretty recently too. It's doing pretty good, almost 2,000. Everyone check this one out. I'm gonna have Hojo on at some point to promote it, so everyone that would be like definitely one to highlight and take a look at. Hybrids double feature by Luke Stone. Embark on a thrilling journey. Luke Stone is the dude who owns and runs Fund My Comic. So immerse yourself, unravel the excitement. Is it? Oh, this is a tabletop RPG. That's kind of badass. It's doing pretty good. Little Mermaid is doing pretty great. These are numbers just on Fund My Comic. I'm pretty sure too. So they're up there for being pretty highly funded just on Fund My Comic. Luminavox Second Chance. This fulfills immediately too because it's completely drawn. Jose Garcia is kind of a tried and true, been around for a while now, drawn many books, very reliable. He drew. I got hired to write a script, and he drew the script for Matt Fowler for Tiger
Oh,
Blue
okay.
2. So I kind of worked with him, and it was great. It was very like low maintenance. Like I pretty much just gave him the script, and then he did it, and we had a few back and forths, but he just turned into something that was already perfect and had I didn't need to give any notes or anything. I was like, man, that's cool working with like that level of a professional where you're just hanging out. Glenn Fleming Hatch annotated. This looks pretty sweet. Full color, perfect bound softback book featuring both published and unpublished art. Yeah, this one strikes my eye. I might come back and take a look at this one. I might click into that. Grail 1 through 3. A love letter to vintage heavy metal of the 70s and early 80s. 40 pages of color, black and white, sci-fi, fantasy goodness. So
Yeah,
this
that.
some of these I haven't heard of or seen. Like that I kind of like that though that this the scene is huge these days. Like there's so many books. And in that sense it's kind of healthy. It's cool. There's a lot of people making comics. All we got to do now is get them cooler and cooler, just more and more bleeding into the culture, and then we win.
Oh yeah, I agree. The Grail one, yeah, definitely caught my eye. Same thing with Mountain Hollow.
Yeah, this looks cool. Is this? It looks like Corey Barton style. Brandon Smith is the guy. Mountain Hollow. A survivalist wages a guerrilla war against secret invasion of cosmic entities. Rambo meets Lovecraft. Tut. This sounds pretty badass. Okay, we'll open that and click through it. That one looks like it could kind of almost get some random sales, like just by like kind of what we're doing, because a book
Yeah.
has to really kind of strike a chord for you to like buy it without the even with the way that kind of indie scene works now. It's like the backers they like to know you, they like to hear you talk about your work. Like that really does help, and then the connection with the audience is like a pretty strong thing. But yeah, like buying blind, you might call it. Like to get someone to buy blind, they really have to like align. It has to align with kind of exactly what they would have loved to have bought in anyway. Fall of Man, Crimson Skies. Yeah, these all look pretty cool. It'd be cool. I wonder. I was gonna say like I could. I was like, what's a way where you could like read all of these without having to? Because at a certain point it gets too expensive. Like I can only afford like two or three a month really. But you could start a review site and then ask for free PDFs. But then you don't want to like review them negatively, you know. So that's kind of an issue in itself. You don't want to like. Uh, I mean, you kind of it's good to be like honest, but that's almost like I wouldn't want to even be put in that position of accidentally being like mean or something like that.
I prefer like them, like, for me, being critiqued meanly, so that way I know exactly what they want to say without having to sugarcoat it. Because you ain't gonna get better if somebody's gonna fucking tell you good job.
I know that's true. My first book was called Earthbound, and I got two early readers for it behind the scenes, kind of through Comicsgate and Twitter and stuff, and they were so harsh. And it wasn't. It actually didn't like scar me or anything, but I remember thinking I was like, damn. But I totally changed a bunch based on their notes, and it improved it so much before release. I was like, that was like I didn't even ask for them. I was almost looking for them to just be like, great job, nice job, kid, keep going. So then they did that
Mhm.
unsolicited, and I was like, that I got so lucky that they did that because I didn't even have the balls to ask for that per se. Sometimes if you ask for that too, people won't even give it. It's like their own personality.
Oh yeah.
Um, and
I mean,
sometimes
fuck.
too, yeah, there's an art to reading people's feedback. Like sometimes they can be super nice, but the fact they might just be like only a little bit nice about one thing, and you're like, that's the thing that you didn't like. And then you're like, that's what I gotta work on. They'll be
Yeah.
like, love the story, really love the characters. What is something else like? There was one part that it was actually pretty nice, pretty cool. I'm like, oh, you're only saying pretty instead of love. That's the one that you're.
Okay. Like there was a point where Neil Adams gave me, like, tried to offer me $20 to not look at my portfolio. I was like, no, I'd like for you to look at it, and he ripped my shit to shreds. And I was like, thank you, man, appreciate it.
So wait, he said, I'll give you $20. I'm about to break your heart, kid. I'll give you $20 if you just walk away right now.
I didn't want to walk away. I was like, dude, no, I want you to critique my shit, because he was a friend of Joe Kubert and whatnot. So it wasn't like I'm not some Joe Blow that's gonna fucking like ask him just to waste his time because I'm nobody. Like, I'm just doing it to rile him up. No, I genuinely wanted a critique.
Yeah. Where did you meet him? Was it at a convention? Sorry, I missed that part. Was it?
New York Comic Con 2019, I believe.
Okay. Cool. Neil Adams. Yeah, that's badass. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Sometimes I've gotten. There was one when I was kind of trying to break into the industry, and I finished a short comic that I actually liked, and I was like, "This is the one. I'm ready." And it was Naked Samurai, which the chat might know, and it was fine, but it was good, but it was totally a short comic. But I sent it to Bob Schreck, who's like a kind of famous Batman editor and potentially kind of famous asshole a little bit, I guess. But somehow I got his email, sent it to him, and he's like, "That's a nice little short, kid." But that's all he said. And I was like, "Cool. So do I get a job or anything?" I didn't say that, but I was like, "Okay, what now?" It's like nothing. Yeah. You made a nice little short. Good for you. It's like, oh, okay. So
Yeah, you have
you
to
can't
keep
just
doing
like,
it. You have to
yeah,
keep
yeah.
doing
You
it,
just
keep
have to
sending
keep
it.
going. Um, Immortal Rising looks pretty sweet. Oh, this is that's Jose's art. First World satirical parody. That sounds kind of interesting. There's some that I want to click on, but I'm not gonna because I just don't want to click on too many right now. But the Good Night Crystals in the chat. Good Night's great. This one is on it's Kickstarter as well. It was on Indiegogo, so it's on all three. I've been thinking. They say Kickstarter will get backers just from the algorithm a little bit. I've
I
been curious
doubt
about
it.
that.
I
Yeah,
fucking doubt it. Because if that was the case, I think I would have done a lot better trying to launch Voyage on Kickstarter than I would be on Indiegogo.
yeah. Did you do what was the crowdfunding you used for the one that failed the 24 goal? Was that Indiegogo or?
The one that I tried to fund was the same comic on Kickstarter. That's where I went first. And
Oh
then,
yeah, I got you.
yeah, once that failed, I was like, fuck, I'm just going to go to Indiegogo and try that out, see where that gets me.
Yeah, cool. Conquest of Happiness. Discover more. Let's click it. But yeah, hundreds of books. This crowdfunding site um, came. I don't know. It felt a little bit like to me like it came out of the blue, but I'm sure it was a lot of work behind the scenes. Luke pulling it off, kind of fast too, because he knew the market. There was like a need in the market, so fast-ish. This one looks cool. Titan Mouse. Um, and yeah, and people responded like I think I'm a little curious because they give way better deals than Indiegogo or Kickstarter for the percentage that they take. It might be
Okay.
like 2% even. I think Indiegogo is like 5% or so.
Jeez.
But even I was thinking like yeah, like they're operating on kind of this smaller scale, but then and smaller profits, but because they're so lightweight, that those profits go a lot further. And I'm like, I think they have stuff that they can invest back into. And so they have been talking about trying to do some diamond distribution. I don't know if
Oh,
if the profits of this go into that or not, but they're working on that tabletop RPG. They got some own comics going.
that'd
But
be a
it's like
step up.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If the for the diamond distribution, it's like they said they want 32-page issues, which is really close to what yours is, I think. So they
Yeah, it's 48 pages for mine. I think I'd hit that one on the nose.
yeah. So that's like something you could get it ready and submit or whatever. Bolt action type 1.
But don't you need like a
Smokes.
few issues done? Like not just the first issue, but you gotta have to like issue 2 and 3 so the company knows that you're not bullshitting them.
Yeah, they might prefer that. I don't know though. And they're just getting started. I know they're open to like a little bit more experimentally kind of stuff ish. Like for me, I told them because I don't have anything particularly ready for the 32 pages except if I compiled the 3 Naked Samurai shorts I have. That could be, but that would just be like a one shot, like a 32-page one shot. I'm like, would
Okay.
you guys even want to do that? And they were like, I think I think so because they want to like test the waters anyway. Um, but yeah, catching up a little bit with the chat here too. Um, how's it going, everyone? But yeah, what about if we search? I'm just curious or is it like categories is what I want to. I don't know. If I just search comics and then Zoop is comics. Submit your project. Coven, a book of 100 witches.
Yeah, a lot of these books, like some of the stuff I've seen on Indiegogo, the quality aspect between both these platforms, it's there. Indiegogo has a little bit more of a step up on the quality than the stuff
Yeah,
that I've been seeing on Kickstarter. And I'm not shitting on anyone, but I wish there was more quality control
yeah,
for certain things, but it is what it is.
yeah. This looks cool. It's interesting. Oh, but why does it keep scrolling past shit? I'm like, stop it. I hate this site now. Here's some stuff. So Richard Pace, I'm pretty sure he was a little bit of a bitch on Twitter, which unfortunately
How so?
fucks. He was just talking shit back in the day to a bunch of people,
Mm.
but he's a okay artist. Scare Bones, Dracula, The Feeding. This one looks cool to me, but it actually, yeah, it says it's an anthology. I am sometimes skeptical of anthologies because in the crowdfunding space because they can sometimes be thrown together. But you can see what
I'm
like
actually
it'll be like one great one and then a bunch of filler, and you're like, dang it.
Well, actually, it's funny you say, since we're on that topic. After I finish up Voyage Issue 1, and that's funded and people have it, I'm going to be immediately working on a anthology comic, which is going to be like 30, 40 pages, but the art is all me. And
Oh, cool.
I'm going to be calling it Forsaken Fables. So each story has like a lesson to be learned in the worst way.
Oh, cool.
I'm going all gory. I'm going like, body horror, like weird demon stuff, like you name it, it's gonna have like that shit. it's gonna make you feel uncomfortable, but you can't look away.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. That does sound cool. That avoids all the pitfalls I just mentioned. So that's
Yeah.
um Kickstarter. What about this one? We go comics and illustration. What do they even got? We'll have a look here. Cyanide and Happiness. That's just like compiled. They make a ton of money, I'm pretty sure, but just compiled old stuff. Witch Creek. That looks okay. Packrat Thunder Bunny. It almost feels like this is not as good perusing as Fund My Comic. I like Fund My Comic. You can just scroll down and look at everything. This is a little bit more like this is all Kickstarter's
Yeah.
comic campaign, shattered records, blah blah blah. This is like news. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
But is that like legit news? You know, because I feel like some of that's like mucked up in the water.
yeah, that's true.
Let's be real here. I've seen a lot of people suffer trying to crowdfund.
Yeah, this one looks kind of okay. Some buttons, but these are one. Then these aren't even gonna launch, I think. And I don't know how to scroll over. Oh, there we go. These are like preview campaigns. SCP Foundation. I hear people mention that, and I don't know what it is.
SCP is just like you have your like your typical you have your typical monsters and whatnot, but SCP is like a lab facility that houses the most dangerous like monsters, creatures, and what have you, in like a very tightly guarded facility, multiple floor ground facility. It's weird. I only know so much about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like ARG-ish YouTube stuff sometimes, and
Yeah, I think it was. I think SCP stuff was created on on a website. It was part of a website. It started off small and it just became its own thing. But again, I only know so much, so I could be wrong there.
yeah. About yeah. Look at this. This recommended for me. It's like 3 little options and 3 little pages. I can look at these like 9 total. That's a weird thing they're doing. I don't even see too much there that's really catching my eye. Dead and the Damned, that could look kind of cool. But yeah, I did click on one thing. It was storage. Blood is Thicker Than Water. Storage is a standalone psychological mystery graphic novel. That does sound interesting to me, but then it's not doing too well. But it just started too. But yeah, kind of manga-y. So that one looks kind of cool. So there's shit out there. What do we got? Hatch annotated. Now we're back to Fund My Comic. Glenn Blee Fleming. I see. By the way, we got David Brohawk in the chat. What's up, David?
What's
By
up,
the way,
dude?
David, I want to have you and Gary on, or just Gary, but I got to figure that out and reach out to you guys. I think Gary's is available on Fund My Comic too. It's his ink illustrations.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The art looks pretty good. Is it a
Yeah,
sketchbook?
I think this is a sketchbook, which is always a little bit tougher sell because I do like it if it's like an actual graphic novel better. But I do really like the art style.
I've actually always wanted to put together a sketchbook where I'm just like I throw a bunch of stuff in there, plus like have a section where it's like fan art of Sonderon and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, sometimes you can do that as like a bonus book and sell it for like $20 or whatever if you get up to like 64 pages or something. And Ashcan Swamp Cast. That might be an actual comic. Yeah, the art's fun. I like this stuff. I like all this. Cool. What's this one at? We'll see. 11 backers. This might be on other platforms too, but it is fully funded. Cool. Mountain Hollow. Survivalist Secret Invasion. Yeah, this was one that caught our eye. 14 backers. 1,000 goal. Chat, let me know if any of these are catching your guys' eye too. We got 13 people watching. Here's
Yeah, I
here's
just
that
love
cover.
it when they create their own logos instead of using fonts that exist and shit. I love that.
Yeah, this looks great. I think this is Corey Barton. I'm pretty sure. I recognize the art style. But we can. Oh, yeah, Corey Barton, sweet. I called it. His art's great. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's really cool. Um, yeah, cool plot. This one would be one I would be kind of interested in backing and checking out. Um, Bengali. This one looked pretty cool. Yeah, this is sweet. Bengali on Fund My Comic.
And
19
good
backers.
action. Good action in some of the sequences I was looking at.
Yeah, that was looking good.
Oh, somebody goes, down goes solo. Really like the alien design? Sonder on? Wink, wink.
Nice. Yeah, and only 3 days to go on this and 1,500 goal. So that's interesting. Bengali, who is it? Who's running? Nick Garber. Nick Garber hit up some people on Twitter and stuff and get some promo going for the last 3 days. See if you can hit that goal. If you see this, open letter to Nick Garber. Stain number 001. Oh shit! Look at that.
Oh, I'm in. I'm absolutely in.
I know. I must admit I'm a sucker for the crazy gore.
Yeah, people that push that. Oh, here we go. I'm liking where this is going.
Yeah, this is sweet. Look at that.
Show the horror.
Yeah, this one kind of stands out. It does catch your eye. I mean, it's almost like a cheap trick, but hey, I'm into that. Like, yeah, gore.
It's
And
his banner. He's got to change that fucking banner.
yeah, and there's an art to it too to hit the gore just right where people get stoked. But yeah, this looks cool too. It all looks cool. Yeah, so that one caught our eye. So that one's only two backers, dude. And then there's a back that is if it's digital or whatever. I might back this. So I'm gonna keep that tab open. Titan Mouse just looks really cool. I don't know what the deal is with this one. I think this is on another
Wow.
Gary Shipman.
That mouse.
Yeah, this is. I think this was on other crowdfunds too. So I think it's done fairly well. You can see it's like pretty nice, pretty quality. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, you
the
telling me. Holy shit.
yeah, the art's amazing. I think Gary Shipman is potentially maybe a famous guy. I don't know what his deal is. Yeah, this looks great though. It's cool. It's on Fund My Comic. They got some Gary Shipman going on. Leave that one open too. An Indiegogo Exploring Comics. Snowman closed. I think so. This one's not available anymore, but that was a big, awesome one. Did really well. Dollars Donuts Comics. Technogods. Alterna Comics August pre-orders. Here we go. This is a good one in demand. Have you chatted at all or yucked it up with Pete Samedi yet? He's the owner
Yeah.
of Alterna.
He's gonna
Yeah.
have me on his show, like November 10th or something like that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, he's great. And his book is great. He has his own book going that's called King Cryptid, and it's ongoing. And he's got some great artists, and that's a really cool book.
Oh,
Starbarians
yeah,
is
King Cryptid. I like the alien issue that was on the front cover. I was like, ooh, that's it. I'm sold.
nice. Yeah, a lot of these are like they are CG. I recognize a lot of them. This one isn't, but that one is cool. That's like from the animation industry. It's like pretty good art. Vigilance Creed with B.A. Turner. Maidens of Mayhem. Here's Mountain Hollow. Oh, so we were looking at Mountain Hollow. So it is on. Oh, it ended. So it's like the second chance on Fund My Comic, and it was only at. Did I leave it open? I can't remember if that was when I left open. But that one looked pretty great. So that's good to know that Mountain Hollow did pretty well for itself for a first issue indie comic. Cool. because that does sound like a lot of fun. That one. Yeah, there's just so much. This the whole scene is so big. There's like pockets you can meet new people every day that you didn't know were there. I've been around for multiple years and um, still see new stuff every day. And that Umbrella Guys comic,
Oh wow.
yeah,
I
right
was
here.
surprised he's still doing stuff. I haven't heard from him in a hot minute.
Yeah, I guess this one's in demand, so it might have been in demand for a while, but um, some of these look cool. Tyrant, Patreon, Utopia, Brink, Comic Book Res. I like how this is an okay perusing experience, except we know that Indiegogo frickin' shadow bans. So there are books that don't even come up that are available.
Are you
Um,
serious?
yeah, and that's like very frustrating. It's kind of random. It's usually bigger stuff that it'll happen to, bigger Comicsgate books, but it kind of happen. It can happen to anyone. So it's almost worth double checking. Like search your own comic and make sure that
Wait, how do you
that.
do that for me?
How do we check for you?
Yeah, how do you like? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
let me see. If we search Voyage and it doesn't come up, that would be a pro. That would be you might be shadow banned. We'll see. Uh, I'm searching. I think it's searching. It's being a little slow. I'm gonna close those. I'm leaving stain 001 open because I might back that. Storage probably. Come on, go. Let's try it up here. Voyage.
Could be under comics though. I think you still need to click that tab.
Yeah, where is that? Over
Right there,
here? Or?
Creative Works comics.
Cool,
Oh,
there you are.
okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
I
I was
had a
holding my
heart attack
breath.
there.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a huge problem. Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
it's
that is hell because I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm pretty high right now, so I'm like looking at this, like my heart's beating, I could feel it, like more so. I was like, oh, come on, no fucking way.
yeah. But yeah, from even oh, here's a great one too. Black Tiger. Everyone check out Black Tiger. I'm gonna be promoting with him a little later too, in like a week or so. Mad Socks. Narwhal, you should dress up like Luigi to honor EVS. Yeah. Um,
I gotta figure out how to fucking get more backers. It's such a struggling thing to wrap your head around because it has no specific way in what you need to do because everything's just up in the air. And when people figure out like this is how you do it, just read this book and you'll be fine. It won't work.
yeah, there isn't almost anything like that. I know the only thing there's a couple things is obviously streaming helps, talking to people directly, and then it kind of the rule applies a little bit like you might like even on this stream, I'm not sure. Hopefully, you might get a backer or two, but even if it's zero, everyone sees it, and then like when it comes time, like if it's like it might be 2 weeks, like it starts to build. That's like a marketing rule sometimes of like people need to see it like 5 times, and then they'll back it. So you're kind of building some of that. It's almost like goodwill. It can be a little bit harder even on a first book launch too, but once you launch the first one, so if the first one, even if it is like a smaller campaign, then you can fulfill it that much faster, and then you can get a little bit some good word of mouth out there and build on that. Is like a
Yeah.
little bit of it too, but Black and White. Oh, Disintegration Street. This is one of my favorite CG books, everyone. So everyone keep this in mind. This is the last volume, so you can get the entire series, and 83 total. I think he, in general, will get at least 200 people kind of following the series, and that is kind of from word of mouth too, because it is people do like it. Um, but yeah, looking at them, I'm like, Fund My Comic kind of had the funnest bookshelf to look through. It had the most live campaigns, the most kind of like look into the indie sphere that found some fun stuff, plenty to pick from. Uh, Indiegogo, it goes up and down. There's a lot, but there actually wasn't as much as Fund My Comic. It looked like a few higher profile ones, and then Kickstarter, same thing. I didn't see that many, And Kickstarter, actually, I was trying to remember if I even saw Zorro. Did you follow that at all? Sean Gordon Murphy releasing Zorro on Kickstarter?
I just followed that. I didn't back it. It was just more of like, oh well, this is a new project he's doing.
Yeah,
I'm just a little weirded out or curious about the whole quote unquote Sean Murphy hybrid company thing he's
yeah,
releasing. I'm like, dude, that's still crowdfunding though. Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. Like, my brain isn't like figuring this shit out.
I know. I don't really get it either. He's like, I'm gonna save comics. I'm like, you're gonna save comics by doing what we're already doing, and then I guess he's offering like editions. So, but I don't think that's gonna save comics. Alsmat
No.
says I'm shadow banned. Alsmat, are you on FMC yet? Get a little thing going up there too. I backed Beast Citizen both editions. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I like the art style a lot. I like the cartoony style. Cool. Well, we'll take a look here at Voyage. So just this is like the purpose of the stream, everyone. We're kind of going to start wrapping up here, but Voyage 30 backers, maybe 31, 32. Did anyone back it while we're doing this? We got Zackary, fresh out of the Kubert School, first badass comic he's got going here, first issue, second or third comic, but yeah, it looks great. It's about the alien. What's the alien's name again?
Sonderon.
Sonderon. Yeah, nice. And he's searching for pieces of the fabled spear that are across the galaxy. A very well put together campaign, cool art, cool tiers, and extra covers, extra prints. There's even a sculpture kind of thing that's available.
One of a kind. We'll go
Yeah,
out to
yeah,
one backer. They'll get the it's going to be like 10 to 12 inches.
yeah. That's sweet. Cool. And yeah, for this you can, if you just want to jump in, dip your toes or whatever, for $5 PDF, the $10 for all three, the first issue for 15, which is great, very affordable, and it includes two comics, just so you know, like one short story. Short stories are a lot of fun too, so I kind of like seeing those. I'm looking forward to when you mention your anthology. That actually sounds like fun. A lot of short stories.
I
Having
added
that
that as
unifying thing where you draw them all is very nice for sure.
I added that as a bonus. Not a bonus. I added that as an add-on item. So if you got the first issue and you're like, dude, I want the anthology too, I have that as an option.
Okay, cool, nice. So you can do that. Cool, and then the bonus covers here, and prints. The remarquee where you get some original art on the cover. Original art busts. 11 by 17. Yeah. Yeah, so are you buddies with Bobby, is it Crucifix?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what's his comic called? I forget.
Brutor.
Yeah, that looks really cool too. I didn't see, we were just perusing, I didn't see that one. Is it not out yet or is it?
The sign up is out. Like, I think he's on Indiegogo with the sign up sheet. It's just Brutor.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we should have you, Bobby, and Vaughn on sometime on any of our channels, really. But
Oh man, I would love to. Like, you
yeah,
guys always have a blast. Like, every stream when I watch, dude, I would not mind getting like, sitting with you in PTP and just shooting the shit and whatnot. Like, we're just like, fucking around. Because
yeah,
he's fucking hilarious, dude.
yeah, yeah. Something like that would be super cool. Cool. And yeah, let me see what the chat's up to. You guys are just chatting, saying hi to each other, and Matt Downey says best way to get comfortable with the creative style. Nice.
It's I remember as a kid, I was like, I need my own style. I need my own style, right? Now, like, I've gotten to a point where, like, on my way out the door of the school, I'm just like, dude, I don't even give a shit if I have a style or not. I just want to fucking draw good, you know?
Yeah. That's
That's all
cool.
I want.
Yeah, and as you get better and better, then you're like, I guess that is my style now. Like it kind of happens accidentally or whatever.
I
Yeah,
don't
my
even think I got
cousin,
a style. That's the
my
thing.
my cousin was an artist, and he used that in kind of a negative way, and he kind of fell off a little bit because he was kind of saying like he went to school and he ended up dropping out, I think, or not focusing on art because he would get critiques or whatever, and he's like, yeah, but it's just my style though, and I'm like, oh, you're kind of using it as a shield. Like you should definitely
Yeah.
not do that. Um,
Yep. No, you spoke truth because it's an excuse. It's like, for you not to get better as an artist.
yeah,
So yeah, knock that out. Like, get out of there, man. Just learn to get better.
yeah. I remember one thing I did that helped me level up a little bit was I would kind of sit down knowing that just for this one drawing, I'm going to be super hard on myself, and I'll allow the time that if it takes all day, it takes all day, but it might be simple. But it's better, it's best too if it's in a comic because doing sequentials, you know this, I'm sure, guaranteed, because it's such a difference between doing sequentials and doing like a pinup. Because doing a pinup, you just naturally draw your comfort zone from any angle, and yeah, you can make it look good. But it's like, but can you draw someone like sitting on a couch comfortably? That's actually really hard to draw, and that kind of stuff comes up in the story. And if you can draw that, and then it's a little. I started doing it when I started drawing digital because I knew I could like erase easily. I could drag stuff around, but you could look at everything, and then you're like, okay, what's wrong with it? Like if I were Jim Lee even like and had held myself to that standard, and then you're like, okay, yeah, it's obviously not good enough. What's wrong with it? And then I'm like changing it, just spending the whole day doing that, putting yourself in that mindset, and then you can't always stay there forever, because you almost get yourself too down almost. But like
Yeah.
just dabbling and then kind of trying to remember that frame of mind of like, because a lot of times we do, and that it's like a psychological thing too that keeps us going, is that we do like our own stuff. But another thing, sometimes if you look back on it 3 months later, then you're like, crap, I wasn't that good yet, and I thought I was good. But then that you keep getting better and better, and then one day you look back and you're like, I actually do like some of my stuff from 3 months ago.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Actually, what is
Uh,
it? That character, Air Rider, that's like right next to the barbarian. He's got like a red scarf. That's actually Comic Ken's character.
oh, sweet, nice.
And the character on the left hand side that looks like a marshmallow, that's Zone from Dark Horse Comics Presents.
Oh yeah, sweet. That's badass. Cool. So a little crossover, and they're all playing poker or something.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Cool, cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'll have you on again. Maybe when it's still live, even we'll keep on boosting it. It will pick up as it gets closer to the end. If it is still in the mid campaign doldrums, that does kind of happen. But everyone, definitely take a look and back it if you're feeling it. Like throw down and get on board with this because it does look sweet. Zachary's a great guy. Friends with Vaughn, jumping in here. Um, Glad to have you and hang, and we'll keep hanging. But yeah, with that, I will end the stream here. And that's another time I don't have the video, so I just kind of click it. But
Okay.
yeah, so bye chat and see you guys later. And hang out just a little bit. Zachary will say hi behind the
Okay.
scenes too.